Okay, I'm gonna move really slowly towards Peach's tank, which again is just temporary. That's how she came. Today I'm putting in her bowl and her hide. I just want to show you how to calm her down. It all has to do with stillness, silence, and a lack of motion. So it's going to take a little bit of time. You know, this is going to take some patience just to watch. But when I move here, I know you can't see me well, but when I move, I'm going extremely slowly. Slower than you'd want to go, the slowest you can go. I moved her tank before, and I did it so slow she didn't even hiss once. Now, the thing is, it'd be better if you could see me, but she sort of talks to me, you could say. Before they hiss, there's like a pre-hiss. So as I start to move in a way she doesn't like, she will give me a little hooding up or a little hiss, and now you just stay still and you wait, as does she. She hurt her nose just from, striking the tank. I hate this tank. But until I get the vision, it's a temporary fix. This is how she came. And so he's already starting to hood down a little bit. This takes a little bit of time. Because I've been here all day for hours and hours, once she hoods down, she's starting to stay that way. So that's good progress. But the thing is, like, I can't move this slow forever. So this is how you start out, and then you increase proximity, you stay closer, and then over time you increase the speed so that you can move comfortably without your cobra getting so upset about it and striking, which would never be the case. It's always a question of socialization. Now, she doesn't know what hands and legs are and can't possibly be expected to move like a person, but a person can learn to move in a way that is comfortable for a cobra. So that's going to involve, more than anything, the absence of movement. And you always want to go slower if they're moving than they're moving. And if they're still, let's scratch an itch. You're going to have to wait till your finger gets there. The funny thing is, once you leave the room, you find yourself still going slow for some reason. It's hard to break that when you're at it for hours. So it's probably good for your discipline. You can meditate. So I have to put in her ceramic bowl, but I don't want to take her out again. I just want to scare her. And I could, but I don't want her to have that experience because she'll freak out. She's not ready. So to get the bowl in there, you gotta, of course, tie 2 strings around it and open and down. Fish tanks are not the ideal environment for a cobra, especially one this small. But for now, interesting how what makes her hood up makes him rattle almost the same moment. But for now, it's not the worst thing because I get to work with her, and frankly, the app. Still, it's not an exciting process, but it's necessary. Just totally still until she tells me it's okay. It's a conversation. My talking isn't helping. I'm gonna stop talking. She hears it. I don't want to get into that whole argument, but she does hear it. Just like she heard the vacuum and many other things. Shakes rattle. Putting down a little bit. There she goes. Cobras can't really strike sideways or upwards. So when they go lower to the ground, that's a very good sign, because they can't strike it down from the ground, right? Unless you're a bug. So see, this is a very good step. She's not hooded up anymore. You know, again, it's just patience and time. But if I were moving around like a person normally would, this would never happen. There's also the issue of things. Like if you have something in your hand that she doesn't know, before had a bottle or something, and you know she didn't like that. She knew what it was, so I had to like let her see it and take time. Otherwise, she would strike at the cage, and I have to treat her nose because she has a little boo-boo in her nose now from all that. When she first came here yesterday, you see, I don't know if you can see, but anyway, notice she's hooded down. Well, mostly hooded down, and she's low. That's very good. You're a good girl. You're a good girl, Peaches. And of course, the idea is to get her to stay more and more like this, and then to take her out slowly and keep her comfortable. And getting her out does not have to be this terribly violent, terrifying experience for her. She's very vigilant. She keeps a close eye on me. But she's also curious. She wants to know. You can tell, of course, by the tongue flicks. You can see. Like now, the way her hood is, she's not leaning back so much. It's not as much a defensive posture, but she's not quite sure, you know. Also, hooding up is not like it's a tremendous effort for them either. Look at that. Look at that. She looks like a corn snake. When the hood is down, sometimes people don't like to film them because they don't look like cobras. To me, they do. They look like indigo snakes in a way. To me, this is much more pleasant, you know. This is when you can have more of a conversation. See, I moved my foot a little bit, and you see how she started to hood? But I have to increase my emotions because I can't move like a fucking mime forever, but I have to cough. Let's see what happens. Good job, Peaches. Good girl. She doesn't really have the color of a typical albino, does she? She has some other stuff in her. I'm waiting for the paperwork to see exactly what it is. But the reality, as funny as it sounds, the reality is she's just sensitive. She's more sensitive than other cobras that I've had and have. This one, you know, she's more reactive because she notices her environment. When you say reactive, you know, the key word is what is she reacting to? She's reacting to you. And so, right now, you see how she's not hooded up? Remember when I first started, she was hooded up? And essentially I've done nothing, just sitting here. And then I'm going to start to move my hands very slowly so she knows I'm not a threat. See, she hooded up? And then a little bit faster and a little bit closer. She sees that stupid fly. Now see, she's curious. She's curious. She wants to know her world. She's pondering. She's thinking. She's exploring. Even though it's such a tiny little cage. Well, I want to kill that fucker. I went to use bug spray, of course, but the fucking thing's gotta die because it's been bothering her like crazy. Die, fucker. Die, die, die. She had to get used to this bottle. It's been sitting here waiting for that spray the whole time. I hope it dies a miserable death. Anyway, look how hooded down she is. You know, this is what I was going for. Look at the tongue flicks. Look at the motions, you know, she's turned, look at that, it's beautiful to see. Oh, thank God. You're doing so well. Don't worry, I'll get you into a good home. She has a rat in there. What she ate, she did not eat. She buried it under the pine. It's okay. You know, I have to let her start getting used to my emotions. It's okay, sweetie. Alright, alright. So when she hoods up like that, a little bit, she's telling me to stop, so I stop. And this is sort of where the conversation begins. So if I move in a way that she doesn't like, I stop, I become still. And then I wait until she tells me it's okay. Like, see, she stops, so I stop. Whatever she gives me, I work with. I like the tongue flicks now. What I don't want to do is scare her and then calm her down over and over. That's not the idea. That's not natural. The idea is not to move like a snake, but to stop moving like a human that twitches and moves faster than them. They'll always interpret that as predatory behavior. We have the ability to make the journey to them. It's a journey too far for them to come to us and to be around fast movement, and you can't expect them to. It's especially someone like her. She's so sensitive. The word reactive, I don't like that word because they're reacting to us. It really has to do with us. It's not that she is reactive. We are causing reactions. And again, I'm going to start to increase the pace, but I'm getting what I want. To her, the glass really means nothing. This would be the same interaction in a way without the glass. In a way. She is aware that it's there, but she would still, like she has been doing, she'll lunge at it and bump her nose, unfortunately. So this is a nice little test to see how things will be. Not that it's a good idea to stick your hand in front of a cobra, but that might happen by accident. Anything can happen, and the relationship between her and I could have any angle, because space is infinitely divisible, of course. So, see how she pushes with her nose. Part of her wants to get out, of course, and part of her wants to know. She's doing that like cheese does it. Part of her wants to know just what's there. She's never really gotten past the pine, but now she's okay burrowing because I've been here the whole time, and for her to put her head down there is very good. She wouldn't do that if she was threatened by me. So she's still hooded down. So I think that you get the idea. She started out scared, and just like with shakes here, I'll start to bring in more of my snakes to this room. It's just a pain in the ass, and not many will fit. But you can see that, with him it's the same thing. Look at him. He's looking at me now. He doesn't know whether to rattle. She's still very aware of me. She might hood up, in which case I just interpret that as crying. Just like with a baby. Baby cries, you react, but it's just different. In this case, stillness and silence. Those are the tickets. You did a good job. You're a YouTuber. Peaches, good job. No hood. See, even if I scratch, she comes up. So I stop. If I move in a way she doesn't like, or too fast, whatever it may be, I stop. See how she's looking? Every little thing she notices, kind of like swaggers. So, I have to become aware of every little thing, because she tells me, hey, look, something's happening that I don't like. They're much more sensitive than we are, so we have to respect that and adjust accordingly. See how there's no hood now? She's looking right at me. No hood. Very good. Good job, Peaches. Very good. I'm so proud of you. Look how far you've come. One day. It's like she wants to not be scared, of course. I say of course, but it's interesting. It's not like she wanted to be like that. She doesn't. Nobody wants to be scared. No being wants to. See how, like, she told me to stop moving, so I did. That was such a tiny motion on my part. But if I kept doing it, she'd hood up, hiss, and if necessary, strike. Monocles really have bad aim. Everyone is always talking about their great aim. They don't have great aim. They have terrible aim. And they'll often fake. They'll hiss. They'll fake a strike. Then they'll often miss. So I don't know where that perception comes from, but I've been dealing with that my whole life. And trust me, they're inaccurate. They're inaccurate. With a mouse, or a rat, whatever, they're much more accurate. But with a person, you would think would be an easier target, they're more reluctant to strike, and when they do, it's a different kind of a strike than they would when they're eating. And we stick our hands out so they follow, and move our heads and our feet, so we have that advantage. See, when she comes to me, I try not to move as much because I want her to come to me. And so just like when she's like no hood at all, I'm very proud. You did a good job. So just like when she's out of the tank, see a little tiny hood. So I'll stop even just like hold my breath for a second because this is very good. But I can't stay totally still forever. So like I like to make some sort of motions, and we've been working on this. There'll be no hood at all because proximity is starting to not matter. It's almost like in one day I could have her going on my hand like Cheese does. Almost. I wouldn't do it, of course. Not yet. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. I see him. Oh, I can't wait for him to die, bitch. There we go. Got that little bastard. He's been picking at me. Motherfucker. Sorry. My fault. Okay, so now we go back to the same thing. I just stop. And like before. Oh, you'll be fucking kidding me. Another one. I found out what caused them, the flies. It was one of the cats doing the hidden poops. So now I have to convince her again of my good intentions, and especially my lack of bad intentions. Another interesting thing is you could turn your back on them and then they will never strike. Everything being equal, of course, if there's someone else there or something else happens, something falls, you don't know. But watch. I'm going to turn my back on her and face the camera. Watch what happens. If I turn my back on her, move a little bit away, and turn my back, I could pretty much move any way I like. Let me see if I can get so you can see. I hope you can see her. So I'm just going to move a little bit faster than I would and see what happens. If I were to do this in front of her, she would be coming at me like crazy. But because I'm not facing her, I move my hands if you can't see it. Because I'm not facing her, I can move as fast as I want. Not that I want to move fast, I want to go to bed. And it's fine. Isn't it interesting? We call them the aggressors. No. That's just not true. They will never initiate aggression. They have the right to defend themselves. If you believe in the Second Amendment, you should believe in their right to defend themselves too. So, if someone came in my house without permission, I'd shoot them in the face. So, is it so fair to say that you could stick your hand into their little tiny house? Imagine a giant hand coming at you. Is it fair for them to just do nothing? Is that reasonable to ask when they don't know who you are? It's different. When your friend comes over, it's obviously different. We never use the word trespassing. That's exactly what we're doing. We don't have the right. We need to adjust our behavior so that we're not just getting what we want, changing the water, cleaning the poop, and going on to the next one. Where, at least I prefer interacting with them, touching them, getting to know them. It's a whole different world. Alright, thank you very much for watching. It might take me a while to turn the fucking camera off. But I'm certainly going to be practicing a lot of meditation.